famous Kazakhstani boxer Yermakhan Ibraimov performed at the Olympic Games twice, in Atlanta in 1996 and in Sydney in 2000. He was the bearer of the Kazakhstani team flag at the Olympic Games twice, and this honor bestowed upon the best of the best. He won the bronze medal in America and won the high title of an Olympic champion in Australia. The boxing school in Kazakhstan was founded by Master of Sports of the USSR, Shohur Boltakulem. Boxing in Kazakhstan has been developing for more than 80 years, and we have good traditions, even from the beginning when Shohur Boltakulem started boxing in Kazakhstan. Abdesalom Nurmahanov, Abdrashid Abdrahmanov, then goes Serik Konakbayev, Viktor Demyanenko, Valery Rachkov, followed by sportsmen of already independent Kazakhstan, Vasily Zhirov, Beksat Satarkhanov. They represent all school of boxing in Kazakhstan. The Kazakhstani school of boxing in the world is very strong, and we keep the brand. We have Rio de Janeiro ahead. We want to be sure to win the gold. In Athens, in 2004, Ibraimov was the head coach of the national team. Boxing became his profession. The Olympic champion heads the Center of Olympic Preparation. Now I'm preparing the reserve for the national team. Juniors teams, youth teams are all I have. I train them, and after that they are going to be the national team. The new generation of sportsmen are all graduates from the Olympic Training Center. For example, Danir Yeliusinov, Polat Niazimbetov, Almuhanule Janibek, Ivan Dichko, all of them are graduates of the Olympic Training Center. Yermakhan Ibraimov maintains friendly relationships with those who struggled with him to the heights of sportsmanship. He had been training along with Bakhit Alpizbayev for 4 years. I arrived in Kostanay to participate in the national championship called Dynamo, and then I saw him. At first I thought he was a Cuban. I thought he is some Cuban guy. I thought, where is he from? We don't have the Cubans in Kazakhstan. I saw him boxing left-handed. I have noticed he's a really good boxer right away. Boxing coach Seidahmet Sarsenbekovich Jumaliyev has known Yermakhan since childhood. He coached him in the national youth team of Kazakhstan. He studied at a boarding school in Jambul. He was 13 years old when he became the champion of the region among young men in our area for the first time. Then he became the champion of Kazakhstan among juniors and youth teams. Then the Soviet Union champion among the youth in Rostov-on-Don in 1988. And he was invited to the national youth team. And after a year, he became a champion of the USSR among young sportsmen. The team of Kazakhstan represented the sovereign state at the Olympic Games in Atlanta in 1996. The two-time medalist at the World Boxing, Yermakhan Ibraimov, was among the strongest. I was training him when he was in the national junior team. Our head coach was Tursun Yedilov. He was preparing him for the Olympics. He won 3 fights in the semi-final, but he lost in the 4th battle, when he was fighting against a guy from Cuba. It was a tough fight. He lost with a score 28-29. He also had 5 fights in Sydney. They were all hard, with very strong competitors. One of them was a 2-time Olympic champion from Cuba. He won the fight against our fighter. The other one was a fighter from the US, the world champion in the final battle, Marion Simon. He is a 2-time world champion. It was the most difficult fight. This fighter was young and Yermakhan was already 28-something. So when he won this fight, and the anthem of our country started to play, the whole audience from Kazakhstan was proud of him. Cuban boxers were always known as some of the best fighters. An island of freedom needed good fighters, and the Cubans were working hard in order to win. But Kazakhstani fighters, in whose veins the blood of Normans flows, who owned the art of fight, were claiming to win too. As they say, the hardest work was made by my personal coach, Tursun Joly Yedilov. He is a head boxing coach of the Republic of Kazakhstan. He asks himself, why do we keep losing fights against Cubans? He went to Cuba to find out. Sometime later, he invited the Cuban team to Kazakhstan. We organized a meeting here, a match meeting. To cut the long story short, we began to get used to the Cuban way of fighting. After the match meeting of the Kazakhstan-Cuba teams, it became clear no one is undefeated. Atlanta. I was fighting against a Cuban fighter and lost the fight, and then took the bronze medal. It was the same story with Bolat Niazimbetov. He lost the fight against the Cuban fighter and took the bronze medal. Bolat Jumadiev lost the fight against the Cuban in the final and took the silver medal. The only one among the Kazakhstani fighters who took the gold medal was Vasily Zhirov. He beat all his rivals, including the fighter from the US in the semi-final and a boxer from Korea in the final. The Olympic Games in 2000, 4 years later, was successful for Kazakhstan. It turned out that in the mini-battle Cuba-Kazakhstan, the score was 3-0 in favor of Kazakhstan. I mean, I beat a fighter from Cuba. So did Mukhtarkhan Dildabekov and Oljas Orazaliyev. We gained 2 gold and 2 silver medals. At that moment, Yermakhan Ibraimov did not remember that he was thinking about leaving the sport. He trained at the Army Sports Club back then. We need to give him his due. He found the strength to come back to the sports. He had a really good personal coach. Good relationships with the senior coach. More than that, he had an opportunity to raise his status of civilian. We were offered an officer's position. And he in fact received a second breath, a second life, and the new height in this job. Yermakhan Ibraimov then joined the sports society Dynamo. Mikhail Yurchenko remembers that time. He used to live with Yermakhan Ibraimov in the same room, in the pre-Olympic training camp, and at the Olympic Games in Atlanta. He was a very determined man. He told me once in a frank conversation something. After workout, we were playing backgammon, constantly reading books. He started to tell me these. He went to his homeland in Lugovoye. His father was a farmer, and Yermakhan drove his sheep into the steppe. He sat on the dune and started to think. Is that the future that is waiting for me? And something told him that he didn't belong to that place. He set a goal to himself: to become the greatest boxer and to achieve high results. He told me that during the trainings, when he was not yet an Olympic champion and had no medals at all,
добиться результата и стать великим боксером. Это были слова, сказанные еще во время сборов. Yermakhan еще не был ни призером Олимпийских игр, ни чемпионом Олимпийских игр.
Favor was not in the hands of Mikhail Yurchenko in the Olympic Games in Atlanta. He had an injury. That meant the end of the Olympics for him. But he still had friends in the Olympic village.
То есть друг друга мы поддерживали.
We were supporting each other. I saw fire in his eyes, a passion, willingness to achieve his goal, to win. And this person, in fact, showed to everyone that you can achieve your goal that you set for yourself, and through an incredible attitude to work. It was a very good example for young people. I devoted the remaining time to support Ibraimov, because we became good friends while living together in the camp. I was there with him on each fight, helping him emotionally. Mikhail Yurchenko went to the Olympic Games as a fan and as a former teammate who is ready to support a friend at the right moment. I flew to Sydney and was watching every single Yermakhan's fight. And when he became an Olympic champion, I was there to share this happiness. I even have a photo where I am standing in the background while Yermakhan is being awarded. They were really good years. 2 Olympic cycles. The work showed on 2 competitions that to become an Olympic champion you have to work really hard, to have patience, endurance and faith.
Выносливости, веры.
When he performed at the Olympic Games, we were all supporting him. Not only me, but the entire country was too. We were watching the fights at home, worrying about him. When he won, we would be happy for him. I think he has done a lot for Kazakhstan. He glorified our country around the globe. At that time, he had to focus on everything: physical abilities, the character, the will and the direction. It has been selected to carry out this work. And he was in the right mood as well. Everything was set up to handle it and do the work, and he did it.
Она изначально была такая цель поставлена. И настрой был такой, его поддерживали до последнего. И он с этим справился.
Yermakhan Ibraimov experienced a special moment and a special feeling, but this happens only with the chosen ones. Standing on the podium, he was listening to the national anthem of Kazakhstan, and the flag of his native country was raised above the hall in his honor. My feelings when I was standing on the podium were surreal. I thought I would have wings and would fly away at that very moment. Or let's say the sun would rise from the west and something unusual would be in history. But nothing unusual happened. I remained the same person, and that was the moment I understood that even being an Olympic champion, you have to be the same person as you are. I had wanted to become an Olympic champion for my entire life. And when I achieved this goal, I asked myself, what next? Having left the big ring, I did not go away far from boxing. I'm still among the boxers. I'm still in the national team. We are still working hard, and thanks God, we win gold in each of the Olympic Games. We achieved this thanks to the support of our leadership. The Boxing Federation, the Ministry of Culture and Sports, they all support us, and we are winning.
Федерация бокса, Министерство культуры и спорта. Все они поддерживают, и мы побеждаем.
Yermakhan Ibraimov was awarded national and international awards, became a laureate of the State Youth Award Darin, he became a Man of the Year in 2000, and in the nomination Sportsman of the Year. He does a lot of work for boxing now. He is a director of the Republican Center of Olympic Training. He also provides everything needed to the youth national teams, to the junior and women's teams. He is also involved in the formation of the national team of Kazakhstan on the international arena, and our boxers perform well. Years later, after winning the Olympics, Master of Sports of the USSR, International Master of Sports, honored coach of the Republic of Kazakhstan on boxing, Yermakhan Ibraimov, is aware of the contribution he made to the development of boxing in the country. I think for my motherland, I helped develop boxing even more. People started to believe that they can succeed. They can become Olympic champions. Even a simple guy from a village can become a champion. He will be able to do so if he works hard enough and trains well. I think I proved that. So did Begzat Satarkhanov and Bakhtiar Artayev, Bakhit Sarsikbayev and Vasily Zhirov. All of them come from villages, from simple families. I was on the ring. I'm standing next to it now. In a nutshell, boxing is my life.
Я возле ринга остаюсь, и одним словом, бокс — это моя жизнь.